What happens when a routine flight suddenly vanishes from radar? How can a plane, built to carry hundreds safely, shatter in midair without warning? This is the story of China Airlines Flight 611, a disaster that would baffle investigators for weeks, uncovering secrets buried for decades and revealing how a single mistake can cost 225 lives. 639 pieces of a deadly puzzle. 639 pieces of wreckage were recovered from the Taiwan Strait, each a clue, but none explained why the plane had disintegrated. Every fragment deepened the mystery. Then the 640th piece appeared, and investigators had a eureka moment. This single fragment, a section of the rear fuselage including part of the belly and cargo door, would ultimately unlock the mystery of why a Boeing 747 could break apart midair after decades of service. The flight that never returned. May 25, 2002, Flight 611, a China Airlines Boeing 747, took off from Taipei bound for Hong Kong. It was a short, routine flight on one of the world's busiest and most profitable routes. The plane climbed steadily under autopilot, and everything appeared normal. Then 20 minutes after takeoff, at nearly 35,000 feet, it vanished from radar. Taiwanese authorities launched one of the largest rescue operations in the country's history. Over 225 lives were lost. Wreckage floated across a vast area of the Taiwan Strait, some items even reaching land over 100 kilometers away. Early theories and dead ends. Investigators initially faced a dizzying array of theories. Missile attack? China was conducting military exercises nearby, and tension with Taiwan was high. Yet radar data showed no missile, and the wreckage lacked the damage pattern typical of an external strike. Midair collision? No other aircraft were in the vicinity. Bomb on board, bodies and debris showed no signs of an explosion or shrapnel damage. Every conventional theory was ruled out. The plane had simply fallen from the sky, leaving investigators scrambling for answers. Following the flight data, radar tracking revealed a critical clue. Flight 611 signal split into multiple returns mid-climb, showing several large pieces separating and drifting downward. This confirmed an in-flight breakup, but what triggered it remained a mystery. Some investigators looked to history for guidance. To delay Flight 800, a 747 that exploded over the Atlantic 6 years earlier, had broken apart due to a fuel tank ignition. Could Flight 611 have suffered the same fate? Early analysis suggested otherwise. The central fuel tank was intact, showing no signs of fire or explosion. Searching the wreckage, Flight 611 lay on the ocean floor, scattered across 325 square kilometers. Salvage teams deployed ROVs, remote-operated vehicles, equipped with sonar and cameras to locate wreckage. Investigators meticulously recorded the GPS coordinates of each fragment. Using ballistic trajectory analysis, they could determine which pieces separated first, revealing that the tail section had detached before the rest of the fuselage, along with several D-panels, pressure relief vents designed to prevent structural damage during decompression. This indicated a problem at the rear of the aircraft. Piece 640, the Golden Nugget. Among hundreds of fragments, one stood out, Piece 640, which included part of the tail, belly, and cargo door. The fracture patterns on this piece were flat and smooth, unmistakable evidence of metal fatigue, not a sudden catastrophic failure. This single fragment pointed to a hidden weakness, something that had been building over decades, but what had caused it? A tail strike from 22 years ago. Investigators discovered a shocking revelation. Flight 611 had suffered a tail strike when it was just 6 months old. During landing in Hong Kong, the tail scraped the runway, a routine but serious incident that damaged the fuselage. Temporary repairs were performed immediately. An aluminum plate was attached to protect the damaged area. A permanent repair was scheduled to follow within 4 months, following Boeing's structural repair manual, but the permanent repair was never executed properly. The fatal repair mistake: instead of removing the damaged section completely, maintenance workers Sanded down deep scratches, leaving the damaged fuselage intact. Applied a doubler plate directly over the scratches, hiding the defect beneath. Failed to make the doubler plate sufficiently larger than the damaged area. To make matters worse, the repair was logged as completed per Boeing standards, meaning anyone reviewing the records for the next 22 years would assume the fuselage was fully restored. This concealment would have deadly consequences. Years of concealed damage. Every flight stressed the improperly repaired area. Pressurization cycles during takeoff and landing caused the fuselage to flex, slowly expanding the hidden cracks. Over 22 years, what began as minor scratches grew into a 2.3-meter-long structural weakness, invisible to standard inspections. By May 2002, the crack had reached critical length, and Flight 611 was doomed. The moment of catastrophe. At 35,000 feet, the rear fuselage failed first. The tail section broke away, followed by the rest of the plane. The 747 spiraled into the Taiwan Strait, tearing apart under the force of air traveling over 500 miles per hour. In seconds, 225 lives were lost. Investigators later concluded that this tragedy was entirely preventable. The plane had been flying with a concealed growing crack for decades. Clues left behind, smoking stains and hidden cracks. Even after the repair, signs of danger were there. A dark brown stain on the fuselage, caused by smoke escaping from the crack. Smoking had been banned on China Airlines 7 years prior, confirming the crack had existed for at least that long. The doubler plate concealed the damage, making it nearly impossible to detect without removing it. Had these clues been investigated, Flight 611 could have been grounded before the disaster. Lessons learned. The crash prompted sweeping reforms in aviation safety. Mandatory inspections of old repairs, doubler plates must be removed to inspect the structure beneath. Non-destructive testing technology. Ultrasound now detects hidden cracks. Accurate maintenance logs. Repairs must reflect the true condition of the aircraft. China Airlines revised its inspection procedures, dramatically improving safety. But Flight 611 remains a stark reminder. Even small maintenance errors can have catastrophic consequences decades later. A preventable disaster. Flight 611 is chilling because it shows that human error in maintenance can remain hidden for decades. Aging aircraft require rigorous, detailed inspections. Tiny structural flaws, left untreated, can escalate into total structural failure. 225 lives were lost not because of a missile, bomb, or midair collision, but because a tail strike repair was done incorrectly and left unchecked for over 20 years. The legacy of Flight 611. Flight 611 forced aviation authorities worldwide to rethink inspections and repairs. Tools like ultrasound inspection devices now allow mechanics to detect hidden cracks behind doubler plates. Airlines must carefully track every repair, ensuring nothing is concealed or misrepresented. The disaster serves as a sobering reminder. Aircraft are only as safe as the maintenance behind them. Neglect, shortcuts, or assumptions in repairs can turn routine flights into deadly accidents. Mayday episodes remind us that aviation disasters are rarely simple accidents. Flight 611 teaches us the importance of vigilance, proper maintenance, and respect for the engineering behind modern aircraft. When you board a flight, remember, every rivet, every plate, and every repair matters. Behind the sleek metal exterior, safety depends on meticulous care. A single overlooked flaw can grow silently, waiting for the worst possible moment. If you found this investigation fascinating, hit subscribe and ring the bell for more gripping Mayday stories. Comment below which aviation mystery you want us to unravel next. Every detail matters, and every story teaches us the cost of mistakes.